Everybody, my name is Beck. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today it is the 3rd of January, which marks the year of 2025. Can you believe the years are just going by so quickly? So I am still on break. I'm going back to work on the 6th of January. So I've been off work for a week and a bit, and I've been reading quite a bit, and I've been trying to wrap up my video vlog from last year, but that's going to be a little bit late and I forgot to film halfway through the reading vlog week. I need to summarize that video, but without further ado, I'm going to go through all the books that I would like to read in the month of 2025, 1st of January until now. Did I read a single book in the past 3 days? No, I have not, because I've been procrastinating. And I've also started exercising in December, so I would walk on the treadmill and I'll try to squeeze in a book here and there, because I am trying to find a way for me to both read and exercise and to do all the things I want to do in a single day. Alas, here we are. I am rambling. So the first book that I would like to read in the year of 2025 is Live and Luck by Bryn Weaver. I had no idea what this book was about because I read the first one and I did not have an inclination until the final chapter of Butcher and Blackbird. So I think this one is a marriage of convenience, and I don't know if one of them is a killer. I'm happy to start this one, which is the second book of the series. I'll also like to read the third book of the series, but I do believe it is coming out sometime this year, so we'll just start off with the second book. I don't know if I'm going to read it anytime this week, but it'll be read sometime in January. I like to continue with the series. And then the next pile is from last year. I do have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and lastly I do have the Christmas Tree Farm, which makes no sense in January, but here we are, by Laurie Gilmore. I like to finally start this series. I know the 4th book of the series is coming out sometime this year, something to do with strawberries from memory, but these turns out to be like a spicy romance despite the cover. Did not know that, but I picked it up because I saw it was very popular on the Book Talk and BookTube. I'll just like to give Pucking Around by Emily Raff, the first book in the Jacksonville Rays. I've been trying to read this book since last year, and I've seen a couple of my friends unhaul this book, and this is a Why Choose Hockey romance. I know Emily Raff has written several books at this point in this series. I think one of my mutual friends, Books Beauty Kendra, recently did an unhaul video, and I remember seeing this making an appearance, and it makes me a bit nervous, but nevertheless I would like to go through all my physical copies, and I don't know why I was gravitating towards this book. I think I just wanted to clear it and see whether or not I want to keep it or unhaul it, because I do have a couple of books that I will be donating to my local free library, and I might as well get rid of some books because this is a catastrophe. I think I really need that. I've been attempting to reduce the amount of books I've been buying for the past couple of years, because ever since I started this hobby it's been growing a bit nuts, and I don't have enough room and space on my shelves anymore that I have to put the books here. It's not something I encourage despite all of this. I'm trying to recover. I don't need to buy anything this year. I have more than enough books. I'm attempting a low buy year, because to say a no buy year for me for anything is impossible, because I know my personality really well and I have a shopping problem, as you can probably tell. My goal for this year is low buy, which means I will only buy during my birthday month, the end of financial year, and Black Friday, or any of the major holidays is when I will do a buy. I watched several creators, and the one that I am going to take inspiration from is Izzy Rain. She would read about, for example, she will read 10 books in the previous month, and she'll allow herself 10 books in the next month if she manages to finish said 10 books as the amount of books she's allowed to buy. I'll tally up the amount of books I read, and then during those major holiday discounts, that's when I will go and buy books on specific date. If you're telling me to go in cold turkey and not buy anything, it's going to be impossible, because I know myself really well and I will go absolutely bananas. The end of financial year sales is in June, well, end of June, and then my birthday is in July. Most of my major purchases I'm aiming for is between June to July, end of June, early July, and my birthday is in late July, so that's going to be a hassle. It gives myself a 6 months break in between this pile. And then the next major holiday is Black Friday. During Prime Day sales is another one, but I really don't want to buy anything from Amazon if I can help it. But that is my goal for this year. I'm getting sidetracked from this video, so I would like to read this. One more series that I would like to complete in the month of January/February because it's a lot of books. I had to dig high and low for this series because I did not know which bookshelf I placed this on. So I do have the Twisted series. So I have Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies. And why is it in different orders? Because I bought these two in the cover copy before they were traditionally published, okay? I bought these ages ago, as you can probably tell. That's why they're different sizes. These are traditionally published, these are indie copies, and these were so expensive, and I had to wait for a sale to grab Twisted Love and Twisted Games. And then they became traditionally published and it became like half price essentially, but the quality of the papers are completely different. I don't really like indie cover books because the texture thing, it just throws me off. And I do have access to Kindle versions and the audiobook versions of this series. I've attempted several times to read Twisted Love, and at this point I know 90% of the plot, and it's kind of pointless because if you scroll enough on TikTok, you've seen it. At least for me on my feed, I've seen it before. Twisted Love I think is Grumpy Sunshine, Billionaire Romance. Twisted Games is Bodyguard, Royalty Romance. Twisted Hate, as the title suggests, something to do with enemies to lovers. And then Twisted Lies is I think one of them is a hacker and the other one is, it's like rich guy poor girl kind of trope. I'm not very keen to read Twisted Love because I've seen so many of my mutuals DNF the book, and I've seen enough snippets for me to kind of... I've read Anna Huang's previous books, the previous series before the Twisted series, and I've also read the King of Wrath, Kings of Sin series, like the first 3 books, and one of them I did DNF halfway. I would also like to clear this. Not a good sign because the mutuals who have DNF these books, we have very similar reading taste. I would have ate this up if I was in my early days romance reading journey when I first started this like 3 years ago. Been reading consistently for the past 4 years now at this point. Never thought I'll come back here, but I'm very grateful because I used to love reading and then I stopped and then I'm back at it again. So this is all the physical books that I like to read in the month of January/February, so you might see some repeats. And my lovely friend Beatrix just bought me War of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I just wanted to give her a shout out because I just received this today, and this is the American copy. The texture is very, very different because of the bonus epilogue, and I don't have this book at all. I have a love-hate relationship with this book. I do love it, but at the same time I don't really love it at the same time. And in terms of my Kindle, I like to finish Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. I think I'm gonna have to resubscribe to Kindle Unlimited again because I had to tell myself, I gave myself a pep talk, if I could name 10 books that I can read of Kindle Unlimited, I would resubscribe. And there is Jane Abel recently released a book called I Married a Catman, and that was all the sign that I needed to, that's most likely going to be the first book I'm going to read in the month of January. Even though it's almost the 4th of January, I will most likely be reading that. She Has Never Missed. I love her Alien I Married a Something series. I'm going to have to start 2025 off with a bang because I can guarantee I'm gonna love that. So she's a must buy for me. So I will be resubscribing to Kindle Unlimited because of her. I do have some NetGalley arcs which I'll put here, and I also list out all the Kindle Unlimited books that I would like to read because at this moment in time I don't know what exactly I want. I've written them out, but I don't know if I'm gonna follow the list. But in terms of physical books, these are all the ones that I want to read. My reading goal for this year is 200 books, and I had 200 last year and 200 the previous year. And the apps that I'll be using to track myself is Goodreads. Even though I'm trying my best not to use Goodreads, I'm trying to move away from like Amazon products, but I am so inclined to use it because it just automatically updates every single time I use Kindle, and I can just upload my progress that way. I've recently also downloaded Fable, but here's my problem. They use AI generated stuff, which is like okay, but then they have some recent controversies. They did apologize about it, but I was so taken aback that something like that managed to appear. I'm on the fence about using Fable, but I still have it. Don't know if I'm going to consistently use it because it just left me such a bad first impression. And then I also have Storygraph, but I haven't been consistent with that as well. I try my best to diversify. Funny how I use the word diversify because that's what they will go in trouble for. If you'd like to know more about that, please do your own research. I'm not here to influence you what apps you want to use. I'm just telling you guys what I'm going to use. I did hit 201 books last year, but the problem with me is during the November, December months, I did struggle to keep up and I started losing track because I had so many events on at work in my personal life that I just didn't want to read in the last 2 months of the year, which is pretty normal for me. October, November, December, these couple of months leading up to the end of the year is usually like super busy for me and I'm very like much out of my mind. But nevertheless, I'm still on break, so hopefully in the next 3 days I will read something before I return back to work. And I'm also going on holiday with my bestie in February, so I'm looking forward to that. I will definitely need a break after working a month straight. And I like to put an FYI, I don't know if anybody has made it to this point in the video. I know 200 books a year is an unrealistic goal for a lot of people, and I would just like to say this is not a competition. This is personally for me to set a goal in life that I just want to read 200 books in a year. The only reason why it's feasible for me to read 200 books in a year, just a little disclaimer, is because I don't really do anything aside from reading. I'm either on social media after work or I'm watching YouTube and then I'm eating dinner and then most of reading in conjunction to my free time. And then on Saturdays, weekends and stuff like that, right now I will either go grocery shopping and then I will come home and I would read, and then I take public transport to and from work, and then that's like a good hour one way back and forth that I can just read. So there's many opportunities for me to read, and I just like to use reading as a thing to wind down. If I'm not reading, I'm playing video games. So to me, I don't do anything else. My friends live very far away from me. I don't really get to meet the ones that live in even closer with me because we all have work, and unfortunately that's the way it is. And I'm also single and I like to spend good quality time by myself. I don't have responsibilities outside of work and my own personal well-being, and sometimes my parents, I do take care of them. But that's about it. I have a lot more freedom, free time compared to a lot of people. TLDR, I live a very boring, mundane life. So I read a lot in my spare time. Anyway, I feel like I rambled long enough. But yeah, these are all the books I would like to read in the month of January and February. What are the books that you're looking forward to? There's a couple of good releases out in 2025 and I'm looking forward to reading myself. What have you guys been up to? Any plans for the New Year's? And I think that's about it. I need to wrap up my vlog video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. If you have anything you'd like to say to me, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more content from me, hit the bell for notifications. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.